The city of Akron, Ohio, is often overlooked. A former industrial hub built on rubber, now quietly trudging through the economic lull left behind by factories that once boomed. In this blue-collar town, nestled in the shadows of Cleveland, a legend was born, not with a silver spoon or a family legacy in sports, but with a single mother, a dream, and an uncommon determination. LeBron James entered the world on December 30, 1984. His mother, Gloria James, was just 16 years old when she gave birth to him. She was young, unprepared, and at times overwhelmed, but she was fiercely devoted to her son. His biological father, Anthony McClelland, was largely absent, leaving Gloria to play both roles. Their early years were marked by instability, constant moves, financial struggles, and nights when food was more of a hope than a guarantee. They bounced from apartment to apartment, sometimes with friends, sometimes with relatives, often on the brink of homelessness. Gloria struggled to find consistent work, but she did everything she could to shield her son from the grim realities of their situation. She saw something in LeBron, something that needed nurturing and protection. As a young boy, LeBron was quiet and observant. Life had taught him early to adapt and survive. But it was also during these years that a spark began to flicker, one that would one day ignite into something the world couldn't ignore. LeBron found refuge in sports. Football was his first love. He played quarterback with surprising poise for someone his age. But it was basketball that would eventually become his calling. In his elementary school years, LeBron met Frankie Walker, a local football coach who recognized the instability in his life. Seeing that Gloria was struggling, Walker offered to take LeBron in temporarily, giving him a stable home environment so he could attend school consistently and focus on sports. Gloria, with heartbreak in her eyes but hope in her heart, agreed. It was a pivotal decision, one that gave LeBron the structure he needed. At the Walker household, LeBron found routine, breakfast in the morning, homework after school, and time for sports in the evening. He began to thrive. He started making friends, his grades improved, and his athletic talent began to shine brighter. He also learned what it meant to be part of a team, part of a family. Basketball soon became more than just a game. On the court, LeBron felt free, unshackled from the weight of poverty, the uncertainty of home, and the expectations of a world that didn't yet see him. His talent was raw, but it was undeniable. By the time he was in middle school, word began to spread in Akron that this quiet kid named LeBron James might be something special. Yet, what stood out wasn't just his athleticism. It was his vision, his uncanny ability to see the whole court, to anticipate plays before they happened, to elevate his teammates. Even then, he was showing signs of becoming not just a scorer, but a leader. Gloria eventually got back on her feet, and LeBron returned to live with her full-time. But the lessons he learned during that period, the discipline, the love of community, the importance of a stable environment, would stay with him. And he would carry them forward as he stepped into the next stage of his life, high school. Little did Akron know that their overlooked city had just given birth to someone who would one day be called king. LeBron James had seen enough struggle to understand one thing: nothing in life was guaranteed. But despite the hardships, one constant remained: Gloria James. She was more than just his mother. She was his protector, his rock, and his biggest believer. Even when the world saw just another kid from a tough background, she saw a future icon. By the time LeBron entered St. Vincent St. Mary High School, SVSM, in 1999, his reputation had already begun to grow in Akron's basketball circles. The school, a private Catholic institution, wasn't typically known for producing NBA-level talent, but LeBron wasn't typical. He was about to put SVSM on the national map. From the moment he stepped onto the court as a freshman, it was clear, he wasn't just good, he was different. The making of a prodigy. At 6 feet 2 inches as a freshman, LeBron had the height of a forward but the vision of a point guard. He had an uncanny ability to control the pace of the game. His court awareness was beyond his years, his passing was surgical, and his ability to elevate his teammates made him stand out. He wasn't just playing for himself, he was making everyone around him better. Under the guidance of Coach Keith Dambrett, SVSM's basketball program flourished. Dambrett, a fiery and disciplined coach, recognized the generational talent he had in LeBron. But talent wasn't enough. He pushed LeBron harder than any other player, setting expectations that mirrored those of a college program. LeBron thrived under this pressure. In his freshman year, he helped lead SVSM to a state championship, averaging 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. By his sophomore year, he had grown to 6 feet 6 inches, and his athleticism had exploded. The high school gym that once had empty seats now overflowed with fans hoping to witness something special. Then came the summer of 2001, and with it, LeBron's first taste of true stardom. The rise of the Chosen One. That summer, LeBron and his high school teammates, known as the Fab Five, entered the ABCD camp, an elite basketball showcase where the top high school players competed. The camp was a proving ground. Future NBA stars had sharpened their skills here. This was where LeBron would test himself against the best. He didn't just test himself. He dominated. At just 16 years old, LeBron faced off against Lenny Cook, who at the time was considered the top high school player in the country. The game was intense. Cook, older and more hyped, wanted to prove he was the best. But LeBron outplayed him, leading his team to victory and cementing his status as a future star. That moment sparked a media frenzy. National scouts, college coaches, and even NBA executives started paying attention. The name LeBron James wasn't just known in Akron anymore. It was spreading across the country. The pressure of greatness. With fame came pressure. By his junior year, LeBron was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the headline, "The Chosen One." The expectations skyrocketed. NBA comparisons flew. Some called him the next Michael Jordan, others said he was a mix of Magic Johnson and Oscar Robertson. But LeBron wasn't just a carbon copy of past legends, he was something new. Despite all the attention, LeBron remained grounded. He stayed loyal to his childhood friends and teammates, continued to work relentlessly on his game, and leaned on his mother's wisdom. Gloria reminded him constantly, "Don't let the world tell you who you are. You decide that." Even as high school games started being televised on ESPN and NBA players like Shaquille O'Neal came to watch him play, LeBron kept his focus on one thing, winning. By his senior year, he was the most famous high school basketball player in history. SVSM had won 3 state championships, and LeBron was widely projected as the #1 pick in the 2003 NBA draft. The NBA was no longer a distant dream. It was a certainty. But with great talent came great scrutiny, and LeBron was about to experience it firsthand. By the time LeBron James entered his senior year at St. Vincent St. Mary, the high school basketball world had become a media circus. National networks descended upon Akron. College recruiters, NBA scouts, journalists, and fans swarmed his games. But through it all, LeBron wore his signature calm, composed, focused, and already carrying the aura of a seasoned professional. Every game was sold out. SVSM had to move their home games from their small gymnasium to the University of Akron's James Rhodes Arena just to accommodate the crowds. It wasn't just fans from Ohio. People were flying in from across the country to watch a teenager play basketball. He wasn't just a local hero anymore. He was becoming a phenomenon. More than just a player. LeBron's stat lines looked like video game numbers, averaging over 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. But it wasn't just what he did, it was how he did it. Behind the back passes in transition, chase down blocks, 3-point daggers, thunderous dunks that shook the rim, and more impressively, plays that involved passing up the final shot for a better one, trusting his teammates over his ego. The media called him the next Jordan, but LeBron's style was more magic than Mike. His vision, unselfishness, and ability to control the tempo were more akin to a quarterback commanding a huddle than a shooting guard hunting his next highlight. He was redefining what a high school star could look like. Controversies and scrutiny. But with fame came friction. As attention on LeBron grew, so did the microscope. In early 2003, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, OSA, temporarily suspended him after he accepted 2 throwback jerseys as a gift from a store. According to rules, amateur athletes were not allowed to accept any form of benefit or compensation. The suspension caused a media uproar. Was this a minor infraction blown out of proportion? Or was it a glimpse of the dangerous commercialization of a teenager? LeBron took the heat with maturity beyond his years. He apologized and moved on, quickly reinstated after an appeal. The incident became a minor blemish on an otherwise glowing high school career, but it foreshadowed the scrutiny he would continue to face as a public figure. ESPN, Nike, and the NBA gaze. LeBron's senior season was historic. ESPN broadcasted his games live. Slam Magazine and Sports Illustrated ran multiple features. NBA stars like Allen Iverson and Tracy McGrady came to see him in person. The question was no longer if he would go pro. It was how soon. College was never a serious option. Although Ohio State and Duke showed interest, LeBron and Gloria, knowing their financial situation and his readiness, set their sights firmly on the NBA draft. Even sneaker companies lined up. It was rumored that Nike, Adidas, and Reebok were preparing record-breaking endorsement offers. This was unprecedented, a high school kid attracting corporate attention at the level of a proven pro. The pressure didn't break him. It focused him. SVSM went on to win their third state title in 4 years. LeBron capped off his high school career with a near-perfect season, solidifying his place as the most hyped and scrutinized prospect in basketball history. Then came the biggest moment of his young life, declaring for the 2003 NBA draft. The farewell of a legend in the making. The night of his final high school game was emotional. Fans filled the stands wearing green and gold, some holding signs that read, "Thank you, King James." LeBron walked off the court knowing he had changed not just SVSM but the entire landscape of amateur basketball. No one had ever done what he had, not like this. Not at this scale. Not with this grace. And yet, everything up to that point had been just the beginning. The real stage was waiting. The spotlight was about to get brighter, the critics louder, the challenges harder. But LeBron was ready. As the summer of 2003 approached, basketball fans around the world held their breath. LeBron James, still just 18 years old, was about to enter the NBA draft. It wasn't just a sporting event anymore. It was a cultural moment. From barbershops in New York to high school gyms in LA, people debated the same questions. Could he live up to the hype? Could he handle the pressure? Would he be the next Jordan? Or just another cautionary tale of too much, too soon? Never before had a player entered the league with so much fanfare, and never had the stakes been so high. The lottery, a city's hope. On May 22, 2003, the NBA held its annual draft lottery. 14 teams awaited their fate, each hoping to secure the number 1 pick, the golden ticket to land LeBron James. Fate smiled on a familiar place, the Cleveland Cavaliers. A franchise that had been languishing near the bottom of the standings for years, Cleveland suddenly held the key to not just its own future, but the future of the league. For Ohioans, it felt like destiny. LeBron James, Akron's native son, would get the chance to stay home and resurrect a broken franchise. It was poetic. It was powerful. June 26, 2003, the moment. The draft was held at Madison Square Garden in New York City. A packed crowd buzzed with anticipation. LeBron sat front and center, wearing a crisp white suit, stoic but smiling. Beside him, Gloria James beamed with pride. The sacrifices, the pain, the perseverance, all leading to this. NBA Commissioner David Stern stepped to the podium. With the first pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James. The arena erupted. The moment was surreal. Cameras flashed. Analysts gushed. And just like that, the high school phenom was now a professional. LeBron hugged his mother and shook Stern's hand with poise, holding up his new Cavaliers jersey. The number 23, chosen in honor of his idol, Michael Jordan, was now his. But the moment wasn't just ceremonial. With that handshake came the weight of an entire franchise, an entire region, and an entire industry expecting greatness. Rookie of the Year or bust. Before he even dribbled an NBA ball, LeBron signed a record-breaking $90 million deal with Nike, a landmark contract that raised eyebrows but also validated his marketing power. He also signed with Upper Deck and Sprite, making him an instant multimillionaire. Skeptics questioned whether all of it would overwhelm him. Would the money, fame, and expectations swallow an 18-year-old whole? But those who knew LeBron, the discipline he showed in high school, the grounding Gloria had instilled, the work ethic that fueled his game, believed otherwise. And then came opening night. October 29, 2003, NBA debut. The Cavaliers faced the Sacramento Kings, a playoff-hardened team. All eyes were on LeBron. The rookie responded with a jaw-dropping 25 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. He didn't just survive the moment, he owned it. His passes were crisp, his footwork controlled, his decision-making poised. He wasn't forcing shots. He was orchestrating offense like a veteran. It wasn't just his stats, it was his presence. He looked like he belonged. From that moment on, the noise didn't quiet, it intensified. But LeBron kept showing up, game after game, with the same commitment and composure. By season's end, he had averaged 20.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists, leading all rookies. He was named the 2003-04 NBA Rookie of the Year, beating out a stacked class that included Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Cleveland didn't make the playoffs, but they had something far more valuable, hope. And hope had a name, LeBron James. After the flashbulbs dimmed and the draft night spectacle faded, the reality set in. LeBron James was no longer a kid from Akron chasing a dream. He was now the cornerstone of a franchise, the #1 pick in one of the most hyped draft classes in NBA history, and the face of a city desperate for a win. The 2003 NBA draft class was stacked. Alongside LeBron were future Hall of Famers and All-Stars. Carmelo Anthony, fresh off leading Syracuse to a national title. Dwayne Wade, the explosive guard from Marquette. Chris Bosh, the versatile big man out of Georgia Tech. But none came with the expectations LeBron carried. Not only was he expected to play well, he was expected to transform a franchise. Cleveland, a city starving for relevance. The Cleveland Cavaliers had become a team of irrelevance. The fans were loyal, but exhausted by years of mediocrity. Their arena was often half full, the jersey sales minimal, and the playoff drought long. But when LeBron James came to town, that changed almost overnight. Season ticket sales surged. National TV slots were scheduled. Merchandising exploded. Suddenly, Cleveland was on the map again. Not because of what they had done, but because of what this 18-year-old might do. Life as a teenage NBA superstar. LeBron entered training camp with an NBA-ready body, already 6 feet 8 inches, 240 pounds, but what amazed coaches was his basketball IQ. He absorbed playbooks like a veteran. He asked questions. He studied film. He listened to veterans, took notes, and hustled in practice. Yet off the court, he still had moments that reminded everyone how young he really was. He played video games late into the night. He missed his high school friends during long road trips. He struggled at first to adjust to life in the spotlight every second of the day. He also had to learn how to manage money, a lot of it. The $90 million Nike deal, combined with his rookie contract and other endorsements, made him a multimillionaire at 18. Gloria, still his closest advisor, made sure he stayed grounded. They hired financial advisors and mentors to ensure the money worked for him, not against him. But while many rookies flounder with sudden fame and fortune, LeBron seemed to thrive under it. He didn't get lost in the attention, he used it as motivation. Making an impact on the court. LeBron's first game, as mentioned earlier, was electric. But he didn't stop there. Night after night, he put up numbers rarely seen from rookies, and never from teenage ones. He had double-digit scoring streaks, game-winning shots, and ESPN-worthy highlights. He showed confidence handling the ball, often playing as a point forward, a rarity at the time. He led fast breaks, dunked with authority, and dished out no-look assists that dazzled. He also made his teammates better, something advanced analytics would later confirm. Players around him shot better, scored more efficiently, and played with greater confidence. Despite his personal success, the Cavaliers still struggled, finishing the season 35-47, a 17-win improvement from the previous year, but short of the playoffs. Still, LeBron had delivered something just as valuable, Hope and belief. The Rookie of the Year race. Carmelo Anthony had an excellent rookie year with the Denver Nuggets, leading them to the playoffs and averaging 21 points per game. The Rookie of the Year debate was fierce. Anthony had the team's success. LeBron had the spotlight and the all-around game. In the end, voters awarded LeBron the 2004 Rookie of the Year, citing his impact not just in stats but in visibility and transformation of a franchise. He became the first Cavalier to win the award since 1987, joining elite company. Still, LeBron didn't let the accolade distract him. He knew his rookie season was just a foundation. He didn't want to be great someday. He wanted to be great now. And that meant more than numbers. It meant winning. After a remarkable rookie season, one thing became clear. LeBron James wasn't just meeting expectations, he was redefining them. But the NBA isn't built on hype, it's built on wins, rings, and legacies. And as talented as LeBron was, basketball was still a team sport. To fulfill his potential, LeBron needed help. Cleveland, meanwhile, needed a culture change, from the front office to the locker room. The evolution of a leader. In his second season, LeBron averaged 27.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 7.2 assists, a leap that would normally take years. He had officially become the focal point of the Cavaliers' offense, but it wasn't just the numbers. He was emerging as a leader, even among veterans. He wasn't vocal in a showy way. He led by example, first in the gym, last out. He watched tape religiously. He treated teammates with respect and humility. Most importantly, he never blamed others, even when losses piled up. The Cavaliers just missed the playoffs again in 2005, but by then, everyone saw what was coming. The league wasn't waiting for LeBron to become elite, he already was. Then came the front office shift that would change the trajectory of the franchise. The Cavaliers hired Danny Ferry as general manager and Mike Brown as head coach. Brown, a defense-first coach from the Greg Popovich tree, saw in LeBron not just a scorer, but a complete player who could dominate both ends of the floor. 2005 to 2006, first playoff appearance. In LeBron's third year, he led the Cavaliers to a 50-32 record, ending Cleveland's 7-year playoff drought. He averaged 31.4 points per game, becoming the youngest player in NBA history to average 30-plus in a season. He also made his first All-Star game, and didn't just show up. He scored 29 points and earned All-Star MVP honors. Cleveland entered the playoffs as a lower seed, but LeBron's performance was anything but. In his first ever playoff game, he dropped a triple-double, 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists against the Washington Wizards. The Cavaliers advanced past Washington in 6 games. Though they would lose to the Detroit Pistons in the second round in a hard-fought 7-game series, it was clear, LeBron had arrived not just as a star, but as a force that could carry a franchise. 2006 to 2007, the NBA Finals run. The 2006-07 season marked a turning point. Though the Cavaliers lacked a true second star, LeBron's ability to lift average players into playoff performers was on full display. He was more than a scorer. He controlled tempo, involved teammates, and took over when it mattered. Then came Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Detroit, a moment that would go down in NBA history. With the series tied 2-2, LeBron scored 29 of Cleveland's final 30 points, including the last 25 consecutively in a double overtime thriller. The Cavaliers won and eventually closed out the series in Game 6. For the first time in franchise history, the Cleveland Cavaliers were headed to the NBA Finals. The celebration was euphoric. Akron and Cleveland erupted. For a city that hadn't won a major sports title in decades, it felt like a dream coming true. But reality would soon hit. The 2007 NBA Finals, a harsh lesson. In the finals, the Cavaliers faced the San Antonio Spurs, a well-oiled machine led by Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, coached by the legendary Greg Popovich. LeBron played hard, but it was clear the Cavaliers were overmatched. The Spurs' defense suffocated him, and his supporting cast struggled. Cleveland was swept 4-0. It was a painful but necessary lesson. In the post-series press conference, LeBron didn't blame anyone. Instead he said, This will be the last time we're here and not prepared. He was 22 years old. The MVP years begin. From 2007 to 2010, LeBron's individual dominance reached an absurd level. He became a perennial MVP candidate, averaging near triple-doubles and putting up highlight reel plays every night. In the 2008-09 season, he won his first NBA MVP, averaging 28.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. The Cavaliers had the best regular season record, 66-16, and expectations for a title run surged. But in the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavaliers fell short against the Orlando Magic, despite LeBron averaging an astonishing 38.5 points per game in the series. The following year, 2009-10, he won MVP again, leading Cleveland to another 60-plus win season. But the playoffs ended in another heartbreak, this time at the hands of the Boston Celtics. In Game 5 of that series, LeBron had a poor shooting night, and critics pounced. Some said he had mentally checked out. Others speculated he was frustrated by the front office's failure to build a championship-caliber roster around him. What the world didn't know was this: a seismic shift was coming. By the summer of 2010, LeBron James had accomplished almost everything a young NBA superstar could dream of: multiple MVPs, All-Star appearances, scoring titles, and a finals appearance. But one thing still eluded him: a championship. And for a player dubbed the Chosen One, as a teenager, nothing less would do. Free agency frenzy. LeBron's rookie contract had expired, and for the first time, he was an unrestricted free agent. It wasn't just a basketball story, it was a cultural phenomenon. The media dubbed it the Summer of LeBron. Every move he made was dissected, every word analyzed. Multiple teams cleared cap space and made their pitches. The New York Knicks offered the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. The Chicago Bulls offered a roster with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. The New Jersey Nets, backed by billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov and Jay-Z, tried the business-savvy angle. And the Miami Heat, led by team president Pat Riley, pitched something no one else had: a winning blueprint. Riley laid out championship rings on the table. He spoke not just about the money or the city, but about legacy. He offered LeBron something rare in free agency: a chance to build a dynasty alongside Dwayne Wade, his close friend, and Chris Bosh, another elite free agent. LeBron was torn. Cleveland was home. But home hadn't provided what he needed to win. So he made a choice, and it came with consequences. The decision: a televised earthquake. On July 8, 2010, LeBron announced he would reveal his team choice on a live ESPN special titled The Decision. It was an unprecedented move, part PR, part charity event, part spectacle. Millions tuned in. Then came the words that would shake the NBA. "I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat." In an instant, Cleveland erupted in anger. Jersey burnings. Outrage. A vitriolic open letter from Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert, accusing LeBron of betrayal and calling his move a cowardly act. It was personal. The media piled on. Pundits questioned his loyalty, his courage, his ego. Fans who once adored him now labeled him a villain. And in a matter of minutes, LeBron James went from being the NBA's golden child to its most hated star. Miami Heat, not one, not two. LeBron joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to form the most hyped, super team the league had ever seen. At the introductory rally in Miami, LeBron famously declared, "Not one, not two, not three, not four," referring to the number of championships they intended to win. It didn't sit well with fans outside Miami. They saw it as arrogance. But inside the Heat locker room, it was about business. They knew the target on their backs was massive. Every road game felt like a playoff atmosphere. Every missed shot fueled the criticism. LeBron had to prove he could thrive under that microscope. 2010-11, the growing pains. Though the Heat reached the NBA Finals in their first season together, it wasn't smooth sailing. Chemistry took time. LeBron, used to being the singular focus, had to share the ball and the spotlight. But the real blow came in the 2011 NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. Despite being heavily favored, Miami collapsed in 6 games. LeBron was largely ineffective in the fourth quarters of that series, hesitant, overpassing, and outplayed by Dirk Nowitzki and role players. Critics had a field day. He's not clutch. He shrinks in big moments. He's all hype, no heart. It was the lowest point of LeBron's career. But it would also become the turning point. A summer of transformation. That off-season, LeBron went silent. He shut off social media. He didn't do interviews. Instead, he worked. He studied the post-game with Hakeem Olajuwon, adding new weapons to his arsenal: fadeaways, footwork, counters. He also worked on his mental game, adopting a zero dark 30 focus come playoff time. More importantly, he embraced the role of the villain, not with arrogance, but with purpose. If the world needed a villain, he'd be the best one ever. When the 2011-12 season began, LeBron was no longer searching for approval. He was chasing greatness. And this time, he would not be denied. The 2011 NBA Finals loss to the Dallas Mavericks was a gut punch, but also a revelation. For the first time in his life, LeBron James had failed on the grandest stage. But instead of breaking him, that failure refined him. What followed was a reinvention, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The 2011-12 season would mark the beginning of LeBron's prime years, and with it, the birth of a modern NBA dynasty. The 2011-12 NBA season was shortened due to a lockout, but when play resumed, LeBron was laser-focused. He wasn't just playing basketball. He was dominating with a controlled fury. He stopped worrying about public opinion and started concentrating on what he could control: his play, his mindset, his preparation. His numbers were astounding. 27.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists per game, and elite-level defense. He led the Heat to a 46-20 record and was named NBA MVP for the third time. In the playoffs, LeBron was ruthless. Against the Indiana Pacers in the conference semis, he exploded for 40 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists in a pivotal Game 4. In the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics, with Miami facing elimination, he delivered arguably the greatest performance of his career. 45 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. On the road, under immense pressure. Eyes cold, jaw clenched, LeBron looked like a man who had decided he would not lose. The 2012 NBA Finals, the first ring. The Heat faced the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals, led by a young and hungry trio: Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. But LeBron was on a mission. He played with power and precision, punishing mismatches, initiating offense, and playing suffocating defense. In Game 5, he recorded a triple-double, November 26-13, to close out the series and win his first NBA championship. Finally, the weight lifted. The narrative changed. "It's about damn time," LeBron said post-game, tears in his eyes. He was no longer just a gifted player. He was now a champion. Fresh off his first title, LeBron entered the 2012-13 season as a man liberated and unguardable. He posted one of the most efficient seasons in NBA history, shooting over 56% from the field, an astonishing number for a perimeter player. He averaged 26.8 points, 8.0 rebounds, and 7.3 assists, and his decision-making was nearly flawless. The Heat went on a 27-game winning streak, the second longest in NBA history. They finished the season 66-16. LeBron won his fourth MVP, becoming the youngest player ever to reach that milestone. In the playoffs, the Heat encountered their toughest test yet, the San Antonio Spurs, seeking revenge after a disappointing 2012 exit. The 2013 NBA Finals, a battle for legacy. The series was epic. The Spurs, led by Tim Duncan and emerging star Kawhi Leonard, pushed the Heat to the brink. In Game 6, Miami trailed by 5 with 28 seconds left. The trophy was being wheeled out for San Antonio. LeBron hit a three. Miami forced a miss. Ray Allen hit a legendary corner three to tie the game. Miami won in overtime and then closed the series in Game 7, with LeBron dropping 37 points and 12 rebounds. He was named Finals MVP again. In 2 seasons, LeBron had erased doubts, crushed narratives, and elevated himself to another stratosphere. By the 2013-14 season, the physical and emotional toll of 4 consecutive deep playoff runs began to show. Wade was dealing with knee issues. Bosh's role shifted. The bench was aging. LeBron was still phenomenal, posting career-high efficiency numbers and even scoring a career-high 61 points in a game against Charlotte. But cracks were forming. The Heat made the finals again, their 4th straight appearance, but ran into a rejuvenated and surgically precise Spurs team that executed a basketball masterclass. San Antonio dominated the series, winning in 5 games. The loss stung. The energy in Miami shifted. Rumors swirled. Was this the end of the Big Three? LeBron's homecoming thoughts begin. After the finals, LeBron opted out of his contract. He wasn't just thinking about rings anymore. He was thinking about purpose, family, and home. The man who had once been burned in effigy by Cleveland fans was now considering something few thought possible: a return. In the summer of 2014, the basketball world was once again holding its breath. LeBron James had opted out of his contract with the Miami Heat. The sports media exploded with speculation. Would he stay and reload in Miami? Join forces elsewhere? Or go back home? Cleveland, the city that had turned its back on him so dramatically in 2010, suddenly found itself dreaming again. They had forgiven and they were hoping. Behind the scenes, LeBron was changing not just as a player, but as a man, a father, a leader, and a legacy builder. He wanted more than trophies. He wanted to heal wounds, to rewrite the ending of a story he had left unfinished. The letter, "I'm coming home." On July 11, 2014, Sports Illustrated published an essay written by LeBron, with the help of journalist Lee Jenkins, titled, "I'm Coming Home." In it, LeBron wrote, "My relationship with Northeast Ohio is bigger than basketball. I didn't realize that 4 years ago. I do now." It was emotional, mature, and disarmingly honest. He admitted he had made mistakes but emphasized the importance of forgiveness and growth. Fans wept. Former critics embraced him. Jersey burnings were replaced with murals. The city welcomed back its native son with open arms. This wasn't just a basketball decision. It was an act of redemption. LeBron didn't return to the same Cavaliers he had left. The team had added back-to-back #1 picks, Kyrie Irving, a dazzling young point guard, and Andrew Wiggins, a top rookie. But LeBron knew talent alone wouldn't be enough. He called for help. The Cavaliers traded Wiggins to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Kevin Love, a double-double machine with high basketball IQ. With Kyrie, Love, and LeBron, Cleveland had its own Big Three. They were loaded with firepower, and expectations soared. 2014-15, trials, injuries, and an underdog finals run. The Cavaliers started the season unevenly. Chemistry was a work in progress, and new head coach David Blatt was untested at the NBA level. Midway through the season, LeBron took a 2-week hiatus to rest and recover, mentally and physically. Upon return, he led the Cavs on a major winning streak. They finished 53-29 and entered the playoffs with momentum. In the postseason, LeBron's leadership was unshakable. But adversity struck. Kevin Love dislocated his shoulder in the first round. Kyrie Irving injured his knee in Game 1 of the finals. Suddenly, it was LeBron versus the world. Again, facing the Golden State Warriors, a rising juggernaut led by Stephen Curry, LeBron averaged 35.8 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists in the finals, historic numbers. Despite his heroics, the Cavs fell in 6 games. But the message was clear. LeBron was back, and he was on a mission. With a full season alongside Kyrie and a healthy Kevin Love, Cleveland began the year as title favorites. But drama bubbled under the surface. Midway through the season, coach David Blatt was replaced by assistant Tyronn Lue, a move many saw as LeBron's influence. The team responded. They gelled. LeBron took on a mentoring role, especially with young players. He demanded focus. His leadership became louder, more intense. The Cavs finished 57-25 and steamrolled through the East. Then came the rematch. 2016 NBA Finals. Cavaliers vs. Warriors. The Golden State Warriors had finished the regular season 73-9, the best record in NBA history. They were historic, fast, lethal from beyond the arc. Curry won unanimous MVP honors. When the finals began, things looked bleak for Cleveland. The Cavs fell behind 3-1, a deficit no team had ever come back from in NBA Finals history. But LeBron never flinched. Combat. In Game 5, in Oakland with Draymond Green suspended, LeBron and Kyrie each scored 41 points. In Game 6, back in Cleveland, LeBron dropped another 41 points, forcing Game 7. In Game 7, one of the greatest games in NBA history. With less than 2 minutes left and the game tied, Andre Iguodala sprinted for a fast break layup. Then came the block. LeBron flew in from nowhere, pinning Iguodala's shot against the backboard. Moments later, Kyrie hit a clutch three over Curry. The Cavs won 93-89. Cleveland, after 52 years without a championship in any major sport, finally had its title. LeBron collapsed in tears on the floor. "Cleveland, this is for you," he screamed into the mic during the celebration. He was named Finals MVP, having led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. An unprecedented feat. More than a champion. That 2016 title didn't just restore LeBron's reputation. It transcended basketball. It was a story of loyalty. A story of healing. A story of one man delivering on a promise he made to a city that raised him. He was no longer just a champion. He was a legend. After delivering Cleveland its long-awaited championship in 2016, LeBron James could have retired then and there, and his legacy would still be immortal. But greatness doesn't rest. For LeBron, the mission was far from over. With every passing season, his vision for his career evolved beyond trophies and personal accolades. It was now about impact, on the court, in the locker room, in the community, and in the culture. 2016-18, challenges, milestones, and final Cleveland chapter. Following the emotional 2016 title run, the Cavaliers remained contenders. But the dynasty that seemed destined never quite took shape. In 2017, they returned to the finals but ran into the newly reinforced Golden State Warriors, now with Kevin Durant. Despite LeBron averaging a triple-double in the series, 33.6 points, 12.0 rebounds, 10.0 assists, the Cavs lost in 5 games. In 2018, drama and roster shakeups plagued the team. Kyrie Irving had requested a trade, and new additions never quite fit. Still, LeBron, in his 15th season, delivered arguably his most awe-inspiring playoff run. 51 points in Game 1 of the Finals. A game winners against Indiana and Toronto. Dominated Boston in Game 7 of the conference finals. But the 2018 Finals was another Warriors juggernaut. Cleveland was swept. After 4 straight finals appearances and a championship, it was time to turn the page. The move to Los Angeles, a different kind of play. In the summer of 2018, LeBron made another career-defining decision. He signed a 4-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. It was not just a basketball move, it was a lifestyle and legacy move. In it, LeBron could compete for more titles, expand his media empire through Spring Hill Entertainment, prepare for life after basketball, be closer to his growing family. Critics said he chose Hollywood over hoops. But LeBron had a plan. 2018-19, a rocky start. LeBron's first season in LA was filled with promise and pain. The team was young, featuring Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Kyle Kuzma. LeBron played well, but a groin injury on Christmas Day derailed the season. The Lakers missed the playoffs. For the first time in over a decade, LeBron wouldn't be in the postseason. But changes were coming. 2019-20, the arrival of Anthony Davis and a championship pursuit. The Lakers traded young assets for Anthony Davis, forming one of the most dominant duos in the NBA. LeBron shifted to full-time point guard, leading the league in assists, 10.2 per game, while still averaging over 25 points. He was 35 years old, and better than ever. The Lakers secured the #1 seed in the West. Then, COVID-19 happened. The season was suspended. The NBA created the bubble in Orlando, a neutral site, fanless environment, strict health protocols. Mental and emotional strain was enormous. But LeBron thrived. He led the Lakers through the playoffs, defeating the Blazers, Rockets, Nuggets, and finally the Miami Heat in the finals. In Game 6, the Lakers dominated. LeBron recorded a triple-double and was named Finals MVP, his 4th title and 4th Finals MVP, making him the only player to win it with 3 different franchises. "I want my damn respect too," he said, smiling. It wasn't just about rings anymore. It was about resilience, leadership, and legacy. Off the court, father, philanthropist, and icon. As LeBron's career matured, so did his influence far beyond basketball. In 2018, he opened the I Promise School in Akron, a public school for at-risk children, providing meals, bikes, uniforms, and college tuition for those who graduate. Through Spring Hill Entertainment, he produced documentaries and films highlighting Black voices, social justice, and inspirational stories. He became a vocal advocate for voting rights, police reform, and education access. He raised 3 children, always visible at his son's games, especially Bronny James, who began garnering national attention as a basketball prospect himself. LeBron embraced his role as a mentor and mogul, not just an athlete. 2020 to 2023, chasing Kareem and defying age. As LeBron entered his late 30s, instead of declining, he continued to break records. In 2022, he averaged over 30 points per game at age 37, a feat never accomplished before. Then came history. On February 7, 2023, in front of a packed house at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, LeBron passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. A record that had stood for nearly 40 years, broken. Tears welled in his eyes as he embraced his family and thanked the fans. "I never imagined this growing up in Akron," he said. "Being the all-time leading scorer of the NBA is surreal." 2023 to 2024, year 21 and the sunset years. LeBron became the first player in NBA history to score 10-plus points in 200-plus consecutive games, to reach 39,000 career points, and to play 21 seasons with all-NBA-level impact. He showed no signs of slowing down. The Lakers retooled around him and Anthony Davis, and while title contention varied, LeBron's presence remained magnetic. Every night, fans packed arenas just to see him play, whether he dropped 30 or threw a no-look pass. The talk began. How long can he go? Will he play with Bronny? LeBron had always said it. "I want to play at least 1 year with my son." And now that dream was within reach. The legacy, sealed. At this point, LeBron's place in history is secure. 4 times NBA champion. 4 times MVP. All-time scoring leader. 20 times All-Star. Philanthropist, entrepreneur, producer, father. But perhaps most importantly, he's a blueprint. For the modern athlete. For kids from broken homes. For those who dare to dream past their circumstances. He is the man who rose from a single-parent home in Akron, slept on friends' couches, fought through pressure and doubt, and rewrote what was possible, not just on the court, but beyond it. As LeBron James continues to defy time and expectation, it's clear his legacy has transcended the basketball court. His influence can be felt in every corner of sports, business, activism, and pop culture. But how do we define someone who changed everything? To understand LeBron's lasting impact, we must look beyond statistics, trophies, and highlight reels. We must examine the blueprint he created for an entirely new generation. 1. The modern athlete, brand, business, and brilliance. LeBron didn't just play the game, he reshaped it. From the moment he entered the NBA, he was more than a player. He was a brand. But unlike previous stars who relied on handlers and corporations to manage their image, LeBron did it differently. He took control. Spring Hill Company, a media empire producing socially conscious documentaries. The Shop, Shut Up and Dribble, Space Jam, A New Legacy, scripted shows and films. Uninterrupted, a platform empowering athletes to tell their own stories in their own voices, without filters. Lifetime Nike deal. Reportedly worth over $1 billion, LeBron became the first athlete to sign a lifetime contract with the company. Fenway Sports Group ownership, part owner of the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool FC, showing his influence spans even beyond basketball. LeBron redefined what it means to be an athlete in the 21st century, not just a competitor, but a CEO. 2. Athlete empowerment, changing the power dynamic. Before LeBron, the idea of an NBA superstar choosing their own path, leaving their drafted team, and building their own super team was taboo. His move to Miami in 2010, while heavily criticized, was a turning point. It signaled a new era where players, not franchises, controlled their destinies. It laid the groundwork for player agency and self-determination. It inspired others, Durant, Kawhi, Harden, to exercise similar freedom. LeBron didn't just change where stars could go, he changed how the game is played behind the scenes. Through his player empowerment, he reshaped team construction, free agency strategies, and even front office operations. Today, players are more informed, more connected, and more influential than ever before. Much of that traces back to LeBron. 3. Activism and advocacy, speaking truth, building equity. Perhaps more than any athlete since Muhammad Ali, LeBron used his platform to speak out. He stood against racial injustice, from the killing of Trayvon Martin to the murder of George Floyd. He helped create More Than a Vote, a campaign to combat voter suppression and increase political participation, especially among Black communities. He called out politicians, media figures, and even fellow athletes, always emphasizing education, responsibility, and truth. His I Promise School became a national model of community investment, blending academics with emotional support, health care, and free tuition to college. Despite backlash, LeBron remained unapologetically vocal. "I will never shut up and dribble," he once said on national television, and he never did. For the father, the teammate, the mentor. Away from the lights and cameras, LeBron is a family man. He's been married to his high school sweetheart, Savannah James, and is an ever-present father to Bronny, Bryce, and Juri. In a world where fame often fractures families, LeBron's stability has been a beacon of consistency. He attends his kids' games. He publicly supports their endeavors. He dreams of playing alongside Bronny, a feat never accomplished in NBA history. In the locker room, he's a mentor. Younger players like Jason Tatum, Trae Young, and Anthony Edwards look to him for guidance. He willingly passes down knowledge, knowing that part of greatness is creating more greatness. 5. Cultural icon, beyond the game. LeBron is now more than a sports figure. He's a cultural pillar. He represents perseverance in the face of criticism, loyalty to one's roots, growth from youthful stardom to adult responsibility, excellence in all facets of life. He's referenced in rap lyrics, quoted in business books, studied in classrooms. From Akron to Abu Dhabi, kids wear the number 6 or number 23 because they believe in more than basketball. They believe in possibility. From the ragged courts of Spring Hill to the dazzling arenas of Los Angeles, LeBron James has remained guided by a single core principle: strive for greatness. It's not just a motto, it's a lifestyle. A call to action for kids in broken homes, for athletes with dreams bigger than their zip codes, for communities told they don't matter. LeBron James made a promise to his mother, to his city, and to himself. He kept it. And in doing so, he didn't just become one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He became a symbol of what is possible when talent meets hard work, when opportunity meets preparation, and when leadership is rooted in love, not ego. As of now, LeBron is still writing his final chapters. Whether he plays into his 40s, shares the court with Bronny, or shifts into a full-time mogul, one thing is certain. The world is better because he played. Not just basketball, but the game of life. The end. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share.